The mysterious shadow has trapped in your room again with this. The door of the... Yeah. Please find the cake dessert. This thing? Lionfish painting. This thing? Okay, that was easy. Now let's get into the main thing. How can we prove our honor? Are we truly honorable? Surely. You enter a secluded room, and when you open the door, you and the person inside are both startled. Just as you're about to apologize, you realize that the blonde woman in front of you looks familiar. It's you. Upon hearing your question, she pauses her impeding rant, looks you up and down, but can't quite recognize you. Who are you? I don't remember seeing you. Thinking of what happened upstairs just now, you decide not to mention it. Nothing, I mistake you for someone else. Where is your companions? It's always safer to have someone with you. Companion, huh? What kind of companionship companions are they? They just want to see me make a fool of myself. I'm fine by myself. It's just a social party. Think of it as a game. I participated in a reality show for Horror Room Escape before. I was the champion. When they knew I was a rich businessman's wife, they came to flatter me. Now that they know about my background, they show their true colors. They turn their faces faster than the props in those reality shows. Hypocrites. I bet they've got tons of Botox themselves, and they have the nerve to talk about me. They're all the same, a bunch of hypocritical counterfeits. I hate people who gossip about each other. The woman's voice comes from the direction of the door. You both turn around, but only see a passing figure. Cardilla, are you talking about me? You bitch, come back here. Like a cat with its tail stepped down, Shirley screams and rushes out the door. You listen to the fading cursing and are about to get back to your own business when you suddenly hear a scream. Your heart is shouting unease. You quickly get up and leave the room following the sound. Several guests are looking terrified at a closed door. You go over and try to turn the handle, but it won't budge. With the help of several guests, you finally manage to break open the door, but the room is empty. Only on the table there is a plate of peach cake with pearl candies on the side sparkling under the light. That's her. On a lost item. What does this do? The selected allies unit restores energy after using an ultimate. Huh. I like that. We will keep that on. I don't know how much combat there is, but still. Let's see what we got. Here's Shirley. Attenuated handcrafted peach. Creative molecular gastrology. Since you dressed yourself up so hot, I don't know what that word is, then to sculpt you into the ultimate molecular cuisine. The imperfections can be covered up with whipped cream, colored sugar, with jam, though it ruins the hauteur of the presentation. It's still fine as a little dessert to cheer up after tea. She's saying just she ain't shit. That's basically what she's saying. Side order 2, gluttonous legend. Stupid and unreasonable game. Rules have made you lose your companions and your appetite. If you can't be an honorable one, the consequences are unimaginable. I mean, probably the NPCs will descend down on this place, but whatever. I don't think I need to use all that fine stuff because my characters are way too strong. That was easy combat. I don't know what's happening here with all the squelching and shit. Crunch, crunch, crunch. Creepy chewing sounds can be heard from every corner of the room. Everyone looks at the scene in front of them, the blood draining from their faces. To complete Magrette's game, the three of you have joined the crowd looking for clues and the game rules. Yet no one expected to see something like this in a mere half an hour.
Poor kitten is about to be eaten by a monster. You must pick something valuable to swap it out. Please, circle your chosen items in the picture below. Note that once selected, you will lose these items.
It's the voice you heard in the pool. Though you heard it just faintly, you can still remember. You stare at the door, in shock trying to figure out what's going on. After a while, the door swings open. You see the twisted face of a guest who gets sucked into the weird contraption before getting the chance to scream. On a picture next to the contraption, you see dried roses and paper on a table circled in red. Finally, the chewing stops. The big mouth in the room opens with a snap. Everyone can see that in the center of the mouth there is a plate of fresh oranges, the same color as that man's hair.
Did he really get eaten?
The guest screams in terror as if they were going to be devoured by the big mouth next. Yet aside from the oranges, you also feel mania emanating from the big mouth. It's an unfamiliar type of mania. You don't know if it's from the Ogigia villa, what the fuck is that name, which belongs to the Thomas Society in the first place, or some mutation with their chef McGrath.
So this is the head chef's game? Whoever loses gets turned into food?
Kelvin cowers, grabbing onto your sleeve instinctively. The guest faces contort hideously, remembering what they had just eaten. They're overcome by disgust and nausea. Most can't help but vomit. You pat Kelvin's hand, you ponder her words as you comfort her. Lose, disappear, turn into food. Perhaps the game already started before she announced the rules. You remember the melted ice cream by the elevator and suddenly realize something. I've heard the voice before. It was when I got pushed into the pool, and that time something was dragging me down, and that voice asked me if I wanted to leave everything behind to have fun. The question was part of the game. The selection of the worthy have already started at the pool party.
Oh, my dear guests, so you finally realized it. That's right. The game started a long time ago. Those on the top floor disappeared because they gave in to their hedonism. And then we have those vain social climbers who brawled to get the first spot in the elevator. As for this gentleman, he wouldn't even care to save a little critter.
Who? Oh, the guy that just got eaten?
Tell me, what honor do these people have?
The question is, who are you to decide their honor? If the answer is the strong, then yes, I'll agree. If the answer is anything else, then I will not agree. Because that's the only right answer. Like, either you don't talk about honor unless you're like, justice. I will decide justice because I am strong. In every other situation, it's just like, it's just wishy-washy things saying this and that. Just cannot agree with those things. And even if I agree with them on a personal level, on a realistic note, that's just not something I can agree with.
This is only what they deserve.
McGrath's words are clear, and these challenges are a way of selecting the worthy. The top floor was a test of temptation, but the second floor was a test of compassion. McGrath's sharp laugh echoes in the air, plunging everyone in the rage and despair. That makes sense because in the second floor, there was a question of what do I do with the fire, and it was like apparently you're supposed to choose like the fire will go towards you, which was, I was like, what the fuck? How do I tempt fire to come towards me? What the fuck does that even mean?
You didn't tell us anything about that! How despicable! What's so dishonorable about eating an extra bit of food?
It's quite dishonorable indeed. You don't even have this bit of self-control. Think about Miss Cabernet. She would never eat anything short of perfect.
That is just ridiculous. What about like fucking poor people, right? They will eat whatever they can get. They're dishonorable now? Or like sometimes the poor people, if they get a lot of food, they will eat all of it because they can't really store it in fucking fridges because they don't have fucking fridges and they don't know where the next meal is gonna come from. So they just eat it so that they can, put some fat on so that they can survive a bit longer. So they are dishonorable now? What the fuck does that even mean?
One must be like her to make it to the end. Got it.
Means no one is gonna make it to the end. Fucking
After all, how can I allow anyone tainted to dine with Miss Cabernet? This is my surprise gift for you, Miss Cabernet. To give you the best dining experience, I will ensure that you're neither lonely nor pestered. You will approve of me, right?
After saying this, McGrath falls silent. Yet because of this last sentence, all eyes focus on Cabernet. All the previous fawning, idolizing flattery have vanished, replaced by fear and disgust.
What? This is all for Miss Cabernet?
The crowd erupts in discussion, echoing like frogs croaking in unison. They can't touch the dreaded game master, but they can touch Cabernet. Gripped by fear and anger, they all turn against her.